in like in Mecca, for instance, if you and again the specific intention here will vary according to the type of hajj that you want to do.
Okay.
If your intention here is to make ifrad, you will specifically have intention in you know, to perform hajj alone. You must resolve to perform hajj alone. If you want to do tamattu, you must resolve specifically to do umrah, and after umrah you resolve again to do hajj. If you want to do kiran, you must have intention or resolve to do hajj and umrah together at the same time. This is very specific, and usually this one it is not only done, or it is not only demonstrated. You do it within your heart, but also there are some demonstrations that go along with it.
Okay.
One, you will pray 2 rakat. First of all, you remove the ordinary, the normal clothing, put on the ihram dress, 2, and then you pray 2 rakat. Now you are on the hajj proper, or the umrah.
For each of these
Yes,
3 types?
yes, yes.
Okay, now we move to the key components of the hajj.
Yeah.
There are 3 types, of course, but they share components.
Yeah, they share components.
Yeah, what are the key key components or the key pillars of hajj, which if you miss could
you lose the hajj.
Could lead you to losing the hajj.
Exactly. The first one is intention, like you mentioned. Remember that famous hadith of Umar ibn al-Khattab radhiyallahu anhu, إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى. It so happened that in all the Islamic religious activities, the religious duties, intention becomes a key element. What you intend to do determines the outcome of what you are doing. So you understand. So in other words, the first key element is niyyah, that's intention.
And it's obligatory.
I'm talking about the specific one. It's mandatory.
Okay.
And this specific one, you have the resolution in your heart, but again, I'm saying there are also certain demonstrations that go along with the resolution.
Okay.
First of all, you remove the normal clothes, take a ritual bath, put on the ihram dress, pray 2 rakat. Now the hajj mission has, or the hajj or the umrah business has started for you. Intention, that's the first one. The second one is Arafat. To be in Arafat, to be in the Mount of Arafat. From that will be the 9th day of Zil-Hijjah. The 9th day of the month of Hajj. You must be in Arafat from, let's say, the afternoon, of the 9th to the early hours of the night of Arafat. You understand? And normally people move to Arafat. You know what? Normally on the 8th day they move out of Mecca to Mina. They spend the night in Mina. The 9th day they move from Mina to Arafat. And when they arrive in Arafat, first of all, they will pray Asr, Zuhr and Asr together. Jam'an wa Qasran, combined and shortened. Then after praying Asr and Zuhr and Asr together, now they are presumed to be in the afternoon. They move now to the Mount of Arafat. You understand? The ulama have some juridical differences here, but according to the Malikis, you must be there the whole day and part of the night before you move back to Mina. But the majority of ulama, whether they are the Shafi or the Hanbali or the majority of the Islamic jurists, agree that even if you don't wait for the night to come, insofar as you are there sometime in the afternoon, like from 2 onward, sometime if you spend any time in the afternoon, even if you move before nightfall, it's going to be accepted. You've got the Hajj. But for the Malikis, they are very strict that you must be there part of the night. And that is why it is not only enough for you, it will be not enough for you to leave Arafat before Maghrib time. The easiest way of explaining it to tell you that on the 9th of Arafat, on the 9th of Zil-Hijjah, when you arrive in Arafat, spend the day there and wait until after Maghrib. Although you don't pray Maghrib there. You wait until after Maghrib, minutes after Maghrib. Let's say if you pray Maghrib 7:30, you can be there until 8 o'clock. Then you move down to Mina. When you arrive in Mina, you combine Isha.
Maghrib and Isha.
Maghrib and Isha. You understand? So that is so Arafat is a key component. And if you miss Arafat, you miss the Hajj for that day. And all Gambians going to Hajj must be very careful with Arafat.
Arafat, to be specific.
Yes. And how do you miss Arafat? If you are unable to be in Arafat the whole of the night. You are unable to be there during the daytime, and when night follows, you are unable to be there until Fajr time.
If that happens, you missed it.
You missed the Hajj for the year. So but if you fail to be in Arafat during the time of the night. But fortunately for you, you could rush to Arafat any time during the night, up to 3, 4 p.m. a.m. Sorry, you can before Fajr time. If you can move to Arafat and spend some time before Fajr time,
then you got it.
From the 9 to the 10, you got it. But if you're unable to be in Arafat from the daytime of the 9th until Fajr of the 10th of Zilhijjah, that's the Eid day, you miss Arafat and therefore you miss the Hajj for the year. And unlike other pillars, once you miss the Hajj, you have to go back until next year.
Allah.
It is time specific, time bound. You cannot do it any way you like. You cannot come back to compensate at the same time. You have to wait until next year.
Okay. Then that's the most significant.
That's the most significant pillar. In fact, there's this hadith of the Prophet
Sallallahu
Al-Hajj Arafat. If you get Arafat, you get the Hajj, because if you get Arafat, any other pillar that you miss, you can do it before you leave.
Okay.
But if you miss Arafat,
you miss everything.
You miss everything. Okay. And there is no way you can do it that year.
Okay.
You have to go back home until next year.
Okay. That's the second one.
That's the second one. The third one is Tawaf al-Ifada. That is the main Tawaf. The Tawaf, circumambulation or circulation of the Kaaba on the 10th of Zilhijjah. So normally when people move down to Mina on the 9th night, they spend the night at Muzdalifah, although this has changed now. Then by around sometime early in the morning, 10, whatever, they arrive in Mecca. That will be the Eid day, Yom al-Hajj al-Akbar, the Tobaski day.
Okay.
That Tawaf, that circulation of the Kaaba, is a pillar.
Okay.
It's a pillar.
Okay.
It's a matter of must. If you don't do it, your Hajj has a problem. It's not complete, and therefore you miss the Hajj. Okay. And the whole, you can do it the whole of that day. People keep on doing it the whole day.
That's Yom al-Hajj.
Yom al-Hajj al-Akbar. Okay. Yes, and also the ulama said that if you miss it that day, you can do it the second and the third day. Okay. There's some flexibility with this one, unlike Arafat. Okay. You understand?
That's the third one.
That's the third. The fourth one is Safa wal Marwa. Sa'i bayna Safa wal Marwa.
Okay.
That is walking between Safa and Marwa, the Mount of Safa and the Mount of Marwa. And this, usually Safa Marwa follows a tawaf. Okay. You cannot go and do Safa Marwa like that.
Without the tawaf,
it has to come after a tawaf, after a circulation of the Kaaba. Okay. So these are the 4 pillars which constitute the 4 components of Hajj. Okay. This, if you do all these pillars, if you attend all these positions, then definitely you've got the Hajj.
So taking the ihram is not a pillar.
Well, the intention, like I'm saying, the intention is the pillar here, but the intention is demonstrated.
Forms part of the intention.
Yes, yes. It's demonstrated physically by taking the ihram. Okay. You understand?
What does the ihram signify?
Well, I think this is a very interesting question. Funnily enough, the ihram is just a piece of cloth. Ihram dress.
Two pieces of cloth.
Yeah. Not sewn.
For men and
yes,
yeah.
Yes, for more men. This is the highest level of how to call it.
And for everybody, no matter how great or who you are.
Yes, yes. This is the highest level of humility or humbleness. There's no way that you can identify somebody's status in Mecca. Yeah. Even the people that you know, like if you're doing the Hajj with the Imam or the President of the Republic or the richest man on earth, I mean, you cannot see any difference. Yeah. And this is the most realistic and the most practical or pragmatic way of showing equality among Muslims in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they are all the same. The social status, the economic and financial status, the stratification that we do among ourselves, as far as God is concerned, doesn't matter. It doesn't carry anything. وَمِنَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ وَمِنَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ تَارَةً أُخْرَى. All of us were created from earth. Dust. And everybody will go back to the same earth. And it is from the same earth that people will be taken out to go and answer questions in the hereafter. Allah Akbar. Human beings are all the same. The only measurement or the only criterion that Islam uses to classify people is piety.
Piety.
Faithfulness of God. The more pious a person is, the higher in status, regardless of what he wears, or regardless of what he wears, regardless of where he's fixed in the community.
Regardless of who
the beard, no, these beard, small, short dress, long one, these are physical appearances. They don't carry any weight. What is important is what you have in the heart. They don't carry any weight. You understand? So, and that is why, and Abu Bakr Ihram is one of the most interesting moments of the Hajj, because this is what shows you in real time that there is absolute or real equality among human beings in